Over here. Humping, still Humpty Hump. I see. Coming in. Testing. 1, 2, 3, testing. Hello, welcome to the Vortex. My name is Franny Knight, and I want to welcome everybody who's attending tonight. And for those who tried to attend at 12 o'clock today, I apologize again. We will be repeating this next Wednesday at 12 as well. Could we just do a quick sound check to make sure that you all are hearing me okay? If you'll just put in your chat box that you can either hear me or not, and I'll keep an eye out on that. I'm going to keep moving forward. Just to give you an idea of how long this will probably take, it'll probably be about 30 minutes with a little bit of Q&A. And we're going to be covering several things in this workshop, in this webinar. Just a little bit of housekeeping. Other than doing a sound check, I am not going to be taking any questions during my time speaking with you, but we'll have a time for Q&A at the end that will answer any questions that pop up. And another kind of housekeeping thing, this is my first time doing a webinar, so I'm really new at this, and so just bear with me as I learn how to look at the camera and read my notes. And I am doing this at my home. My puppy dogs are behind me. I'm hoping they won't start barking. If they will, I'll mute myself and get them out, and we'll keep moving forward. Okay, so I'm not seeing, I hope you guys are hearing me. I'm not seeing anybody putting in that they're not hearing me or hearing me, so I'll just keep moving forward. And if you can't hear me and you get frustrated, I am recording this, and I will have it available for you to look at later if you just simply are not getting to hear me. Okay, so here's what we're going to be covering in this first introduction workshop. First, I'm going to just give you a bit of my background and why I'm doing this one-year Law of Attraction experiment. And then I'm going to talk about your homework and how to participate, your commitment to participate in this project. I will be talking about how you can help if you want to donate to this project. I am offering individual Law of Attraction coaching during this process. If that's something you want to sign up for, you can. And then we'll have some Q&A. Okay, so I'm going to talk about now just my background with why I'm doing this and where has this all come from. So, excuse me, I'm going to try to make our chat messages public, and maybe I'll see some of your notes again. Let's see if I can, I'm going to chat with you guys. Maybe that'll get it started. Do you hear me? Sound check. Okay, so basically, I grew up, my family was missionary Baptist. Mostly my grandmother was a missionary Baptist, and my father was not. He went to church just because my grandmother wanted to, but he actually encouraged us to question our church, the Bible, just about anything, actually. So I was kind of given the freedom, even though my grandmother had me in church, to, if something came up that didn't quite feel right, I could actually question it. And something did come up when I was 15 years old, and it was a situation where they were going to make one of my friends stand up in front of the church and apologize for being pregnant. And I was not happy about that. And I simply told people that I wasn't well with that. And I left the church and then started a process of finding my own religion and spirituality, and that lasted for quite a while until I found Unity Church when I was about 23 years old with one of my next door neighbors in an apartment complex I was in. And with Unity, and I also joined the Self-Actualization and Enlightenment Center. which had me really searching for different types of ways of spirituality. So that went on for a few years, and then when I turned 28 years old in 1993, that's to just give away my age, I started a study group, a Course in Miracles study group, and met some wonderful friends in that study group. We were meeting once a week, and I started hanging out with one gal, and we were also studying money, abundance, manifesting. Was listening to some channels, Soul of Money, and I was really getting into that. And one night, she called me up, and she was a little bit upset, and she asked me if I had left a tape cassette, at her house. And I said, no, I hadn't. And she was very, very upset and said that someone had left this cassette tape. It was in her bathroom. Her son didn't know whose it was. She didn't know where it came from. It just appeared. And I'm like, okay, well, what's on it? And she said, well, it's something about the law of attraction and law of allowance and law of creative intention and some Abraham and channeling, and she didn't really know, and she was more concerned about how it got into her house. And I said, wow, that sounds really great. Can I listen to it? And so she loaned it to me, and I listened to it, and that was my first introduction to the law of attraction with Esther and Jerry Hicks, and channeled Abraham. And that was actually before any books or workshops were out in the public. So still don't know where this tape cassette came from, but I took advantage of it. My friend took advantage of it. I passed it on to many people who passed it on. And then when the actual book, The Law of Attraction, came out, I started to read it and study it and was really practicing it. And so I've been practicing the Law of Attraction for 22 years now, and with some success and sometimes not such success. And I probably of all the books, and I'll pop up my the books that I have read in the Law of Attraction series. And so the first one was just the Law of Attraction, then I read the Money and the Law of Attraction. Many of you out here might have read The Secret or watched the movie The Secret. That came way after the Law of Attraction. Currently, the book that is out that I recommend, is going to be on our homework list, is The Vortex, also by the same folks, Esther and Jerry Hicks, who are recording Abraham, who is a entity of 12 different spiritual beings coming to help us out. And the Vortex just came out a few years ago, and I have it on my Kindle. So I was reading these books and practicing them off and on, and in 2008, about 6 years ago, I stopped doing my vocation at the time, my passion of doing training for corporations and people, helping them to lighten up and be more creative and find the soul in their work. And I was really using the Law of Attraction to make that a full-time business, and it just wasn't working. And I was working for another company that I wasn't making very much money and traveling a lot, and was kind of tearing my body down. And so I decided to quit. And I didn't really have anything else planned. I just knew I had to stop. And that was the time when I really went into kind of a depression and not really believing that the Law of Attraction worked, at least for me. I started my real estate career then, not with much enthusiasm or passion, but it was something that my husband suggested that he thought I would be good at, and so I began that. But really, for several years, 4 or 5 years, I was really kind of out of it. And at one point, I had journaled and asked myself if maybe I was supposed to be doing something in this time. There's something significant about it, and I started questioning that, what it would be. And I've already wrote one book called My Purple Dress, and that was a kind of a spiritual autobiography. And I thought, well, you know, I really would like to write another book and maybe get on this speaking circuit with it, because I love to speak and train. And so while I was thinking that maybe I'm supposed to be writing a book in this kind of downtime, it came to me, the book title, one day, and the book title was F, fill in the blank, Law of Attraction. Because I really felt like it hadn't served me well. And I thought maybe there are other people out there who also are having a hard time with making the law of attraction work for them. And if I could go find those people and talk to them and see what they're going through, and maybe through that I could learn how to do it better, or maybe find something else. And so that was just kind of an idea I had, and that was a seed that got planted a few years ago. And in this last year, just about 1 year ago, I picked up a book. Hay House had suggested it, by Pam Grout, called E Squared. And it's 9 do-it-yourself energy experiments that prove your thoughts create your reality. And I picked the book up and I did the experiments, and it changed my life. It's a very focused book that helps you to really focus your thoughts daily. And in this last year, I have seen a significant change in my real estate business. In my money has really expanded a lot, and I'll talk about that later in the experiment. And so a year later, I also got back into the law of attraction, and I did that through reading the Vortex again, and what I believe is the special sauce for what we're doing, which is having a daily practice or devotion and support. I think that's what is missing with what we're all trying to accomplish with the law of attraction and manifesting what we want. And that special sauce that I found was watching and listening to YouTube videos by Abraham and Esther Hicks, and there are lots of them, and they're anywhere from 5 minutes long to 30 minutes long. And I really have been getting a lot of those. I probably have been doing that for about 6 months now, and I feel like it's really changed, because I believe that when we practice the law of attraction, or anything that's like the law of attraction, anything that gets our mind to where we're changing our thoughts and creating a different life for ourselves, I believe that we have a lot to undo. And so picking up one book and practicing it, or going to a workshop and then practicing it, I think if after 40 years, 50 years of the thought system that is not the law of attraction, we have a lot of that to undo. So I believe that's really helped me, and I want to experiment with that and see if it's something that would help you all. And then the second thing that I think is important is support. And so these are the reasons why I have decided to do this experiment. So my goal is to experiment with anybody else who's interested in practicing some of the things that I've been practicing, and other things that you want to along the way, to see if these things are viable, and see if other people have tried the law of attraction, hasn't worked, and now maybe this will work for them. And I think that it will, and I think that we will have support for each other. I love going to church when I can get myself up and go to church. I'm just not great about getting and going out of my house in the mornings. I love my morning time. I do a lot of meditation. So that's the idea behind this, is to do a year-long experiment, have everybody doing some homework and working on some daily devotions and such, and then coming together and once a week and sharing what we're learning, and then going about our rest of our week. And then at the end of the year to see if what we have done together by yourself has worked, if anything has changed, if you have actually got the things that you were hoping to get in your life. So with that, I'm going to move on to I'm going to move to what your homework is going to be, and the commitment that I'm asking you all to make if you decide to do this. Now, you can make this commitment, you can start out, but I have an exit plan for you if you want to exit out of the commitment at some point, but I'd like for you to give it your best shot. So your homework, and these are not items that have to be done in any certain time frame. I just want you to start these. Give yourself your own deadlines and goals. We will be talking about these homework assignments every week. So you can be working on it and get it done, or you can work on it as you can. So the first homework assignment I would like for you to do is a spiritual autobiography. And a spiritual autobiography is basically going back through your life and finding out what your spiritual upbringing was, where you've made your own choices in that, where you have come to today. And the spiritual autobiography idea came from, I was in a women's spirituality PhD program at the California Institute of Integral Studies, and we had to do our spiritual autobiography that we actually had to share with the other women in the program, and it was very valuable. It was very interesting. So I'd like for you to do a spiritual autobiography. Again, there's no time frame on this. The second homework assignment I would like for you to do is to write out your goals, dreams, desires, anything that you've ever wanted that you are looking to accomplish. And you probably have already written many of these down, and that's fine. If you've already got your list, that's great. The third homework assignment I would like for you to do is I want you to ask and answer, and this may take a while if you haven't done this. If money wasn't an object, if you had all the money in the world, what would you do? What would your day look like? Where would you live? Who would be around you? What would you be doing? So I want you to write that down. And the fourth homework assignment is to read the Vortex. You can get that as a Kindle or at Amazon. They have it at the library. Fifth thing I would like for you to do is to learn how to do Google Hangouts, so that when we do these, you can join me with your video cam on your computer if you want. It's optional, but that's how we're going to be talking with each other. And I still don't see any chat messages, so I'm still learning this technical aspect, so I'm going to work on that so that we can make sure we're talking through this in our next webinar. And then write a daily journal. And in the journal, what I want you to be writing, other than stuff that you normally write, if you are already doing a journal, is were you in the Vortex today? If not, why not? What feelings did you recognize during your day? And we'll be these are things that we'll be talking about in each of the webinars. Did you do your LOA, your Law of Attraction devotion, which is basically either reading or going to YouTube, listen to a video so we can get this into our head. At any point, did you catch yourself going off of a negative path away from the Vortex, and did you catch yourself and switch back into Law of Attraction thinking? Number 7, listen to Abraham Hicks' YouTube recording. That's your daily devotion, and join the weekly webinar. Now, with that homework is just a request of commitment from you if you're going to if you're going to do this process with me. And I've decided, because I'm still learning technical aspects of this, that I'm going to keep this open for the month of September. We'll keep doing a part of each week webinar. We'll do an introduction like I'm doing. I'll get it down to probably 15 minutes. And then we'll spend the rest of the time going over everybody's homework and checking in with each other. We'll actually do the official, close it up. Nobody can come in after October 1st I think that's the first Wednesday in October, and then we'll do that from October 1st to September 30th, 2015. Okay, so your commitment is to showing up to the webinar every week, reporting in your homework accomplishments or not. If you didn't have any, that's fine. And if you decide not to continue, it's just too much, you can't do the weekly stuff, it's just overwhelming, or it's not working for you, just not something it's okay that you leave the program. Instead of just kind of like disappearing, if you could actually send me an email and let me know you're leaving the program officially, and that and just a brief explanation of why that is, because I'm going to include that as part of the experiment to see how many people make it through a whole year, what was the reasons for leaving, what, etc. So it's the way I'm doing this experiment, by the way, is in as if I was going to do a doctoral dissertation, and I'm going to do it in an ethnographic style, which means I'm going to be discovering as much as I think I am going to find, and I'm open to that. And then, so the commitment is you join, you come every week, you try to do as much homework as you can. If you feel like you can't make it every week and it's just not working for you, you let me know, give me an email, and then the last thing is at the end of the year, you just kind of do a report in how your year went. And I'll send a reminder email to you to do that. You also, the commitment to be part of this is you'll agree to be included in the write-ups in the book from this experiment. We can change your name to protect you. We'll sign some consent forms on that. And you agree to do as much of the suggested homework as you can. Okay, so that's the commitment. That's the homework. Now, I'm going to thank you for joining me tonight. I, again, apologize for not having the chat working. I hope you were able to hear me. This has been recorded, so I'm going to send it out to everybody. So right now, since I don't think the chat's working, what we'll do is, if you have any questions or comments or ideas or suggestions, or like you want to tell me something that you couldn't tell me because I couldn't get the chat on, send me an email. And my email, the best way to reach me is at Franny, F-R-A-N-N-Y, at FrannyKnight.com. Franny at FrannyKnight.com. Just send me an email. Let me know what's going on, what's in your head, any questions that you have. And I will see you next Wednesday at either 12 or 8, either one that you decide to come to. Okay? Thank you very much.